on the Rift entirely. Absolutely, you're up against River again. Licorice looking at the Poppy, who has been the big jungler pick, and it means River has the premier jungler on this patch.
Absolutely. It's also what Contracts used against him yesterday to rack up 6 or 7 kills within the kills and assists within the first 10 minutes of the game. So definitely good against Azir as well, trying to gank that lane makes it very difficult for him to shift away. And blind pick top there kind of is just another power pick, but it is daring Solo a little bit to try and find a counter.
It will be Licorice's first Gwen of the split. The feedback I've heard from sample of 2, but every top laner I've talked to says, oh, his champ pool is really, really small. Fudge says he can only play Fiora. Douglas said he plays 2 champions. And here's a new one for him, so we'll see if it works out for him. I would say Licorice has been really, really hit and miss. Fudge did a top lane tier list. He put Fudge 6th, I believe, which is relatively high. Fudge had put Licorice as number 6 overall. I don't even know if Soul's on the list, honestly, but Licorice's been really hit and miss so far in the split, and so I want to see if he'll have a strong game here now up against Gnar.
Yeah, for what it's worth, how big of a Fudge are the enemy top laners wasn't the most serious list. Fudge said he was going to do it live, but he did have Solo down somewhere tied for 9th. Mainly small sample size this year. Gnar is a very generic pick for Solo and does speak towards what could be a solo strategy where you just leave him up there against the Gwen Poppy. There is a high risk of getting dove early on in the game, so that would be what those first 2 picks for Golden Guardians at least say to me. And we're back to Corki Azir, even though this is a much weaker Corki.
Yeah, AP ratio's nerfed, and I think that can really mean a lot here. There's always a chance that you can play just AD carry Corki. I think Marksman Corki is totally fine. I think it's always been a viable build to play a more, just a stable sort of champion who's going to play team fights more so than be a poke, but we'll see what build he wants to go for, of course. We've seen Bjergsen play Shield Bow Corki, for example. You can go Trinity Force, all that kind of stuff is out there as possibilities. But we go into the second ban phase as we have mirrored roles everywhere. So bottom lane is going to be the one to look at here. Instinct had a pentakill, but otherwise been, I don't know, pretty attacked. TSM's lost yesterday.
Yeah.
He was the one getting killed the most by far. Meanwhile, Stixxay was the one force keeping Golden Guardians in their game against CLG. So we'll see that Golden Guardians bot lane still works well because, Chime versus Olleh is going to be a fun match.
Yeah, yesterday it was Stixxay Olleh on Lucian Nami and Instinct Chime on Jinx Braum. So Instinct Chime was on the more attempted scaling lane, but not only lost lane, then got attacked very hard. I like the Rakan ban because that is what Chime has looked best on. And also, I very much respect the Lucian ban to block out the Lucian Nami that Stixxay Olleh looked good on yesterday.
Yeah, and Zeri, Yuumi possibility here as well. Of course, if you grab Zeri, there's not a lot of lanes people love. Yeah, good call. But Yuumi with Sivir, maybe, those are some of the options well that can look really good. Good call on the Zeri ban. Golden Guardians. Ooh, okay, they're going to go for Senna, and she's never going to have quite that same consistent damage, so if you are looking to be a little bit more supportive down there, Senna TK, something like that. Golden Guardian's known for just a plethora of Senna lanes. They've done Yasuo, they've done Mundo. I think they've even done a Tahm Kench once, but that was actually as a raw support, so have it to actually play Senna TK.
I think this is a pretty good angle to try and play an Enchanter lane for TSM, but I also am curious to track how much teams do value Sivir here, because Sivir has shot up the priority this patch in terms of AD carry picks. There were large buffs in a bit of a rescope for her, and Braum isn't a traditional Enchanter, but he does have Enchanter qualities in lane, but he's definitely more of a roamer engager. That would be, it's probably just a hover for Chime, but it would actually not be that terrible of a pick.
Hey, get locked in, yes! A week ago, Chime was asked on this stage, like, hey, why don't we see more Bard for you? He's like, well, he's not really meta. I'd rather keep it as a pocket pick and an option and not just like have it be my gimmick. I don't want to force it in a game that doesn't make sense. Does it make sense here? Chime's Bard. Shocker, named after it. Who would have thought? That's going to be the option here. And the question is, Golden Guardian, what is his flex looking like? Is it, again, a Sejuani in the bottom lane? Olleh played it as a raw support before.
Yep. And this time he's going to be able to get farm. So I think it's a good pick for Olleh because he has put the time into it and almost no one has the time against it. I think if you were to do this week over week, it would probably fall off a little bit, but Olleh definitely knows this matchup and they're going back to it.
Whippo spoke yesterday in his interview with Fudge about playing off-meta champions where people think you know something that they don't, and they'll just like, well, but maybe you can all-in me here. Like, maybe you know something I don't, and they'll just kind of chill. He talked about playing Zac top blind pick, and it's like, I should have been punished there. Like, he just didn't go after me. And so, yeah, how many people have played Bard versus Sejuani? To be fair, Bard, again, also outside the meta. Yes, yes, of course, Bard support, but like, has Olleh actually played a Sejuani versus Bard lane before, right? Game behind Golden Guardians here in the standings. Playoffs still to fight for. Postseason still to fight for as we are on to the Rift, the first game of the day.
Both of these teams desperately looking to pick up a win. Still a TSM contingent.
Yes.
They are ever present in the LCS. And with this new roster, if you remember, they were 2-5 before they made the changes. So they are 1-4 since then. Yesterday's game was a little bit of a disaster, mainly because the bottom lane got punished so hard. Yes, they were able to pick up kills onto solo, but that was more almost as a defense mechanism of trying to get something, it felt like. So we know TSM has kept Spica Maple together this whole time. So they are the ones, to me, that need to play well together. Sivir can shove lane, Gnar can be self-sufficient. So if the side lanes just kind of be neutral, it would be on Spica and Maple to try and drive them to victory.
Chime, I believe, earns 20 gold for landing his Q and gets the passive off of Olleh for a bit. It'll come back later, but earns a bit of money. Stixxay goes, oh, I've got mana regen. We'll toss you a Q for this one as well. Pretty standard fleet footwork here on the Senna. I think if you're really pokey lane, I'm still partial to the idea of going Airy plus Scorch and actually push people out of lane. I think Sivir is the kind of champion that you can wear down potentially. So, you know, could have been an option here. We'll see how much poke he takes, though, on the back end as they're going to look for the fight for this wave, put some damage on the Instinct.
Chime actually got 60 gold off of that poke, so he got all 3 spell these charges out. But immediately Olleh goes in for a trade, trying to get early push in this lane.
Yeah, they're fighting back and forth. Of course, Grasp is up. Can be tough to use on this Sejuani. Yeah. Unless you land Q or R, you can't really use Aftershock for much. So Grasp lets you, at some point, go for Q in auto and get some health back. But you're against double range. You're going to have a really hard time using that. You can see, all right, Q in auto. Yeah, I got some health back, but the boomerang hitting Stixxay. He's going to be careful. Burns his heal, running for his life. Flash to escape. Sejuani, though, still nothing else to hit but the Q. So no CC, no follow-up.
Yeah, 2 summoner spells for 2, but I think TSM is going to take that trade because they get both summoner spells off of the AD carry. So in terms of the defensive ability to survive a gank, that is gone for Stixxay.
But there is a flashless Bard, and Poppy's running the way over. I love this route.
What an interesting path.
Yeah, Trinket over the wall to hit the Krugs. Xin Zhao never goes Krugs in an early clear. He almost always skips them. His clear is faster for that one.
Raptors, then all the way Snake down here for Krugs. And if they can crash this wave, that's a Poppy dive angle. Poppy, one of the best champions for diving because you can almost always find a stun against the wall with the E.
All right, here we go. Level 3 going to be as he finishes the Krugs off, and Chime may have a little health potion, but here we go. Chime, no flash. Instinct, no heal. They're into it. Pushing towards the wall. It's onto Instinct. They got to slow. The flash follow, and Golden Guardians go for broke, and they get the ankles with it. 1-0, and now Chime going to be 3. They reset the tower aggro. Stacks done into Stixxay. Do they go for more? The health bar is too low. They decide, you know what? Cut the wave down. Okay. Stixxay takes the aggro, 2 shots, walks away. Chime's gonna drop a trade back. He might trade 2.
It's 2.
Olleh, he will drop a double kill, but it is golden XP dropped in the bottom lane.
Yeah, that's the redive is a little questionable. Chime, we'll see if he can do anything with those boots of swiftness, but since you gave the gold to a support and you got the gold onto your Senna, they're probably pretty happy with this. And in terms of that gank and that sacrifice, that's the difference between River and Pridestalker.
Yeah.
Everyone on Golden Guardians would almost, it felt like poke at Pridestalker about talking about full clear and efficiency 24/7. That is not the efficiency play for River. Cross-mapping to take enemy Krugs and then dying during a dive is a quintessential River play. Yeah. Let's see if it pays off for Stixxay because he's the one that is the beneficiary of that play.
Oh, and of course you can see that TSM wants to get a bit more done though. They're like, look, we know River's behind. We know Spica's level 4. Like, he's got summoner advantage. Like, let's look for something here. Smite gonna be hit in time. They're gonna be fine. Stixxay's already there. And as they walk away, I want to point out one other minor thing, because kills are not created equal. You mentioned it's on a support. Yes, granted, I totally agree with you. But also the kill was unassisted. So it was 600 gold for a double kill. It was 450 for a single kill. So even in his gold trade, it was actually pretty close.
I believe Sivir got assist gold on 1.
Oh, she did.
She's at 0-1-1. But yeah, let's just watch this gank one more time. They burn everything to get Instinct, which makes sense. And this second dive, I think if they get the stun, it's a little higher chance, but you're almost always trading at least 1 back. It makes sense that Stixxay takes turret aggro because he's the one that can take a few shots and back up. But then whoever gets aggro next is surely going to die. It's not quite clean. They end up both getting it. In an ideal world, they get that kill before the turret can go to Chime, and a 1-for-1 is definitely worth it. 1-for-2, not as much.
All right, 300 gold positive to TSM off that play. As you mentioned, the assist on Sivir. Good call out there as AblazeOlive takes a slow to the face, and he's going to hurt on that one as well. No indication yet on his build. Is going first strike that, leans toward poke, but everyone goes Manamune first item pretty much, so
yeah.
Wait to see which way he goes. Is it nerfed AP? Is it not? Licorice going to try to trade his blows with Solo here. Wants to walk back in, gets the final shot on Hyper, and we can see 40 to 37. Very close lane up here so far.
Yeah, one other small point I'll bring up about the Senna is I think specifically gold on Senna that doesn't CS is the most valuable because you're getting so many stats from your souls, and you get to multiply that with your gold, if that makes sense. Yep. If you're normally farming for your gold, you don't get the souls. So this is the way you can tap into both power sources when you're able to get turret or kill gold from that champ.
Solo's on the way in. He's almost Mega Gnar. Out goes Licorice. Ghost burned, ulti burned, running away. That was a nice little try by Solo as Spica was hovering behind as well. Mid lane shoved in. Maple gonna TP back in, and again, the TP every mid laner wants is actually finishing Lost Chapter when you're forced back into lanes. Maple has what he wants in this lane. He's gonna feel good about it, and I think this is gonna be Azir with a lot of lane control from here on out.
River is looking for it. There is no flash on Instinct, and he's not level 6 yet. Can they get a slower route?
Good spell shield. Yeah, not much more you're gonna do with that one on River, so good Instinct to walk away in time. Yep. Unintentional on that one as River walks away.
This is very reminiscent of the types of games that River had on Dignitas back in Lock-In or even early Spring Split, where he would just consistently try and find ways to punish that bot lane, and that's when Biofrost and Neo were carrying a lot of the games. So even though so much of Golden Guardian's previous jungle has been about full clearing and generally ganking top, if Pridestalker was ganking, it was most likely going to be top lane. Licorice has received no assistance, and it's been multiple ganks to the bot lane. So a very different look from Golden Guardians early in this one.
Indeed, but it has led them to a small gold lead, so well done so far. Trying to hold on to that one game, and it would grow it to a 2-game lead over TSM. Dignitas in 10th at 2, so 4 puts you pretty comfortable for now in playoff position. 4 gets you above that hump pretty well. At 5, I guess, would be if they won, so that's always going to be the goal here. TSM, of course, also fighting for a playoff spot. Hoping that can be their play as well as Cannon goes down, push comes in. CS very close between Sejuani and Sivir. Yeah. Often a black mark for Sivir to be equal in CS with a melee lane. Often you can poke them out and make them, deny them casters frequently, but not the case right now. Golden Guardian is farming well.
River looking for an angle here. Maybe hoping that Solo would jump in aggressively. Otherwise, it's pretty tough to pull anything off. Wave is pushing in, though.
Okay, jumps in for a bit. There we go. We've got it in the way. The flash kind of required. I think Hop was already down anyway. And so River able to force a flash out is pretty smart.
Yeah, Spica up here as well. He's hoping to find a face check.
Oh, he will. It's going to be enough. Slow's going to be there. Follows up. They're going to find a knockup? No. Away from the tower. Yeah, the ulti. The slow is going to be enough. The shots still come through. Pretty decent damage. Licorice getting himself back up a little bit. You can see FTX Total Gold Stixxay is in first place. Maple also outfarming AblazeOlive.
Yeah, and all of this happens because Solo wants to crash the wave. The wave was just in a strange spot. He needed to be able to push it in, and that's why Spica originally went up there. They also have a recall timing of Bard, where they were thinking about Rift Herald, but if you just kind of look at the minimap, both bot lanes returned. So that's why Senna and Sejuani are running out mid, because they don't know where Bard is, and they could be thinking about a Rift Herald play. So until the bot lane show, it's all about this Herald here.
And one play we started to see actually a lot from the top teams of the LCS was at this point, you sort of lane swap. Like everyone kind of comes mid. Sometimes you just send the mid laner down to bot already. Yeah. And AblazeOlive's already gone. It doesn't match the TP timer, but you just let him solo bot lane and you play 4vx for the Herald. Right now it is Golden Guardians all 5 gonna have Sivir pretty soon. Oh. That's gonna land, and Maple just gonna drop. Well done to Stixxay to get the shutdown. He's got all 3 kills in the team. Herald's gotta be pretty easy now with Maple gone.
It looks like that was Olleh's ultimate catching him on level 6, but Maple not even able to flash away. That just gifts the Rift Herald over to Golden Guardian, so it didn't even end up being a Rift Herald fight. It was just contesting over the mid wave. Maple stepped up a little bit too far, didn't dodge the skill shot, and Golden Guardians gets another one.
Pretty big step right there. 1,000 gold lead and 300 more to go off the Herald Shard. Even if you don't kill a turret, but keep in mind bot lane has lost a plate already, so that one's gonna have some decent work done toward it. Another recall not coming through for the Umbral Glaive completed Senna. Licorice forces the Ghost away as well. Flash gonna find the stun. Here's the follow-through, so it'll buy some time, but not enough. Chimes dropped the aggro. Spica lives as well. A tower dive works well for TSM.
So they get the kill onto Spica. That's a nice bounce back. It also gets the Senna ultimate and the summoner spells out of Licorice. The question will be, what can they do with this advantage? All three players got very low. All three of them have to reset, so it ends up being that 450 gold trade, and they're going to sacrifice a large amount of tempo into the bot lane. This game looking very similar for TSM, actually. The only place it feels like they can make plays happen is around solo. Everywhere else on the map is struggling.
Yep, pretty strong player. Again, he's got a lot of priority. I don't know. Solo's very, very good. He's one of those players where last year, like, he wasn't on a team.
Yeah.
Same as, like, Biofresh. Like, this is a very, very good player who deserves a spot. I will just continue champion Solo because I think he's a very, very good player. He steps in the roster, and he's already, performance-wise, maybe that's a performing member on TSM. He's doing incredibly well. Or at least top half, right? I mean, Spica's obviously incredible, Maple's obviously incredible, but he's been very good. So cool to see that, kind of him pick back up right away, because I think he is a very, very strong player. Chime going to fight for this ward down here. River's already on the way back over. Says, no, you can't have it.
And looks like River's just going to continue to try and play through this bot lane. Everything Stixxay, Olleh, River really seems like the trio, and Licorice, Olive are on their own. TP check quickly. Solos would be up soon, but it does look like this is too dangerous of a Drake to contest, and that bot lane lead pays another objective to Golden Guardians.
Oh, good job. Pretty much outside of the kills and tower dives, perfect game objective-wise. Certainly not kills, but they are solidly in control. Gold lead has been walked back, though. TSM off of the dive and a solid source of farm has caught back up in gold overall. Chime going to be rooted up for a bit. Stixxay already got his one soul. And now we're going to look at mid lane. Okay, so the goal is to crack mid, actually. AblazeOlive wearing the package had done so when the Drake had come up. Instinct, a good flash, actually. Spell shields the import, slow off the W, and then flashes away from the rest of it, so stays alive. But that's now Summoners down for Instinct.
So it looks like the assault on bot lane is going to continue. So Instinct going to be in a very defensive posture for quite a while. Keeping his CS up, though, and has the Kraken Slayer. I still contest that this game should be about what Maple and Spica can do. So Maple hasn't actually been able to accomplish much, hasn't been able to shove in Corki early to get any roam timings. And River, again, first on the map, but only down 5 CS to Spica. See if he can make a play.
Well, solo, Gnar, they want to wait that one out. And here comes the attempted trade pushing in. They were going to have a Gnar to the wall. Had to go a bit early, but it might still be enough. You got a Bard buying some time with the Coco's coming down. The health comes back in. Stun's going to land. Senna buys a second, but will it be enough? Licorice goes down. Solo finds his kill. Spica low, but he's not in tower range, and River cannot finish the job.
This has been the bright spot for TSM. Another well-played move in the top lane. They're going to go for more, possibly.
Wow.
River.
River goes for broke, gets shoved around, but blocks up Solo, and that's going to be no falling. A huge outplay for River. He should die to the Ignite, and he will do so. Chime gets one back. A one front off some heroics.
Okay, so it is a 2-for-1 overall. Plates don't get burned, and Sejuani is actually picking up the turret plates in the bottom lane. So all over the place, we were expecting a lot of early game action from these two teams. And even though the compositions are heavily scaling based, we still have 9 kills in the first 13 minutes.
Exciting. So once again, here is the attempt onto Solo. They go just early. Gets Gnar off to buy some time.
Yeah, you could see Solo was really sticking around, almost greeting for that plate. So that's why River did go before the Gnar ran off, because the plate had procced. But the move was on the way from TSM. Really nice chaining by Chime. But you can see, like, he's on the way out, and Maple then says, hey, I'm here. So of course they want to push for more, but a good TP coming in right there means that even if they get the kill on this dive, they're going to lose at least one on the other end.
And now get the fight towards Solo here, trying to make the big plays. Has Gnar and Olleh a little bit alone. Here comes a Bard, flashes. He's got Stixxay coming around. He's going to be camouflaged. They might find the re-engage. Spica does not go the right way. I think he wanted to not go in the pit. I think he wanted to be in the fight. I'm not sure. But he's going to dive in now for a bit more. If he can land the W, if he can land the slow, this could be a pretty good fight. But okay, he's going to land it onto Stixxay. Bard ult lands one. This should be a stun. There should be minions in the way. Will it be enough,
could
though?
be a turn. River's here.
Getting hit. His ult's going to end in a second. Does River have it? River has a blue smite. He tackles a minute to get the move speed. Slowed up. The double stun comes in for Chime. Huge. I think that might have saved the life.
All right, everybody back away. Nothing to see here. No kills. Woo! More action.
It's fun.
More action around Solo. And this is actually as based off all that, keep in mind that was a 3v4, so Instinct actually finds his way back in the game a little bit, got about a wave and a half uncontested and is even moving for Raptors. But this is one of the things that Solo does. He plays disrespectfully, so you're right on the edge of wanting to think he's a free kill, or because he's playing disrespectfully, he often gets like good trades. He's actually a very good laner, so it's never easy to punish him. The flip side of this is it is very easy to punish him in scrims. So this is actually something Jizuke did as well, where you're very conditioned to just getting free kills against this player. But on stage, it is different because it's the only time he actually focuses and is more aware of what can punish him. So really unique players. Hard to practice with, hard to practice against, but very big stage buffs. And that's what we're seeing from Solo here.
Yeah, the stage buff looking pretty good. TSM on a 800 gold lead and a kill lead to boot here against Golden Guardians. Fighting for the second Rift Herald now. Drake up in 35. It'd be the second one of the game. 4 Golden Guardians, they get it. I popped yet again. Smites up and upgraded for both junglers. 900 on that mark. Speak, take a little bit of poke here. River wants to go in, and he's going to try, and he's going to get it. Wow, he's full Rift Herald.
But a fight.
Yeah, a double ult, though, buying some time for Chime. Nice scoop by Maple. Is it going to be enough? A quick shield for Senna. Gnar scoops in the wall, flash to safety. One for nothing. Good. Absolutely huge, and Golden Guardians, they may have gotten the Herald, but they've dropped 2.
TSM coming online a little bit right there. Beautiful play there by Solo. Gets the double stun, chains it, and still flashes out with his life. So yes, River gets the Herald, but it's a massive cost to pay. They lose 2 kills, and they give away the Dragon. Watching this one more time, it is just a 5v5 at the Rift Herald, and even though the Poppy ultimate does help them get the steal. Did the ult actually kill it?
Yeah, he split it at 930, the ult killed it.
Oh my god. But either way, the ult doesn't actually help them in the fight, because by the time the fight is engaged, Spica is able to re-enter it, and TSM is able to clean up.
And yeah, I'm not sure he ever got in range to grab the eye. Okay, it's on Licorice. Licorice holding it. So Licorice managed to walk his way in. Jatt, don't cheat. Don't look at the bottom scoreboard. Who's 4-1-3 this game?
I mean, I see it. It's Chime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though, right?
It
like,
is. It is.
He wanted to be like, I don't want Bard to be a crutch, though. You know, I want to make sure I can play the meta jam. He's like, he is turbo stomping in Pisslow on Bard right now. Like, he got a double kill under his tower. Like, this man is cracked on the champion name so far. I'll be honest. I want to see more, and I say this half-heartedly, one-tricks.
Yeah.
Playing their one-tricks. Like, I want to see more Riven from Revenge. I want to see more Bard from Chime, because this is what happens on it. Tamo has won. He's crushing.
It's really possible, but the interesting thing about one tricks is they also know their angles, which is why when they do play it is often successful, because they can see it. But here's another fight. Yeah, looking pretty good right there. Chime getting over the wall safely as Olleh will not be slowed. He will jump over. As the blast plan is in, Spica still running pretty fast. Thank you, Sivir. Ulti on a 1. Olleh knows he's gonna die. He's gonna go ahead and just be meat for the grinder. Falls down 1-1 in Drakes, 8-4 in kills. TSM up 1.5K. So something is happening in this game that hasn't happened many times this year. TSM is the more coordinated team. They're playing more together. When the play has gone for Solo, they're the ones that are able to back him up. And here, I think partially because of just how mobile they are on the map with Sivir Ultimate combined with Bard Tunnels, they're showing up in places where Golden Guardians doesn't expect them to be yet, and it's giving them a lot of picks and good kills.
It's looking pretty good right now. Kraken Slayer in on the way towards Phantom Dancer on this Sivir. Loves the attack, the stacking, loves the raw ID as well for Q damage. As Stixxay, of course, has not had the same ability to sit in lanes and farm, so a 2-level deficit for him. Chime is keeping up, though, overall.
Yeah.
And just a pretty good look right now is Maple going to happily grab his blue buff, happily scale. Now, he is a solid 30 CS down. Will point that, yes, AblazeOlive was out farming, but Maple has been out fighting.
Yeah, still not the strongest performance so far from Maple. He's going to need to do work in team fights. He is the sole magic damage carry for this team. So he's the one that keeps Golden Guardians honest. It's unlikely that any of them are going to be building magic resist. If they build a defensive item, it's likely going to be armor-based. So Maple is going to be very efficient with his items this game. based on the fact that they're solo AP.
Indeed. And speaking of AP, AblazeOlive is going for attack damage Corki. Now, no matter what you build, you are dealing magic damage. He has gone Gale Force. That even does magic damage. So it is auto attack marksman, right? Manamune, yes, of course. Again, Sork Shoes makes sense based on the fact that, hey, there are 80 ratios on your spells, and you do 80% magic damage on auto attack. So it's the correct boot choice, but he is going for a marksman style. It's Poppy Sejuani holding the front line, and then huge sustained damage out of the other three, right? With Gwen, auto attack Corki, and Senna putting out sustained damage into the front line from there.
Fairly similar ways both of these teams want to actually play out fights, because like Azir, Sivir also like long fights, and auto attack Corki plus Senna and frontline also like long fights. So there's a chance that TSM can snowball this one, since they will likely win the 5v5 team fights based on the current gold state.
Good sidestep there by the Golden Guardians. Duo. Oh, that's a big stun. Spica gets away in time, though. Huge. Able to stay away. Thank you. Mercury treads. And I assume Legend to Nasty probably there as well. Gets away, Flash, and stays alive.
Game of inches right there. Just a split second from getting chain stunned into the wall, but ends up actually getting Flash for Flash. So TSM able to hold this pressure. They're going to look, I believe, to hold the pressure in mid lane. And Solo is just straight up continuing to push in this bottom lane. But if they can keep both those lanes pushed, they're going to be able to just move back into river when that dragon spawns, even though there are wards there right now for Golden Guardians. It's going to be so hard for them to retake that space. TSM making their resets now, about 50 seconds before dragon, to redeploy and take control of that river.
Divine Thunder, a force of nature. Solo going for tanky from here on out, itemizing, of course, towards the magic damage of the Gwen and the Corki that he'll be against in these fights. Turret goes down as the Azir turret disassembles, and I believe Licorice let that turret die to deny local gold. The Gnar had already recalled, so 250 gold off the map, but map pressure gained by TSM regardless. Gold League grows to 2,000. Next Drake in 10 seconds. This would be the second for either one. You can freely give this up. You're nowhere near solo. If your map position is bad, you can just play for something else.
Yeah, Maple made sure to push in top lane, then he base TP. That's what is fairly common for mid laners. Right now, Licorice is then catching. So even though Golden Guardians can move in, Solo, I think, is actually in the right place. TSM is making a different call, though, to go elsewhere, and he might be caught.
They try to get him here. He's got Mega Gnar available. When's he going to walk in for this one? Double stunned in it, too, but they know he's going to die for it. They're going to trade one back.
Oh, they killed Licorice.
Gwen got caught out. She walked to catch mid, I believe, and just got killed for it. So 1-for-1 in kills. Mid lane tier 2 will drop. And there could be a team fight as well, keep in mind, because it is a 4-on-4. Neither team has a top laner. Stun lands again, but Spica is not the target. You really can't get through him. His ulti was up in the first place, so now another cooldown missing.
Okay,
this could be a real engage. Is it going to happen here?
The flanking bar!
Down, the flash stun. It's going to happen, but Chime will die. 1-for-1 jungle for support. And the bar portal goes the wrong way, so it's gonna be time to run. But will they catch AblazeOlive? Flash comes in, Slow's gonna land. Double root comes across, though AblazeOlive needs to get away. Maple flashes, Maple will kill, and it's gonna be TSM +1 in the fight.
The flanking Bard, very ambitious. It kind of worked. He did give away his bounty to AblazeOlive, which is the wrong person to have the kill, but TSM overall wins the gold game, but gives up the Drake. I think they were able to salvage what was a big lapse in miscommunication by coming in for that fight afterwards, because hopefully we get into the replay. They had the numbers advantage if they wanted to hold the river. But someone, either Maple or Spica, made the call to push mid and try and get that turret, which they did get. It's just Solo wasn't on board with that call. He was moving into river because he thought the team was going to be defending them, and he ends up getting caught out. But TSM gets the turret, gets multiple kills, and sacrifices the Drake.
Yeah, so they're already diving on in. It's like, all right, we're pinging, and yeah, he's on his way out. Licorice wants to hold this one, and Maple's like, no. I can get in melee range for this. This is what my character's about.
Barely catches him with the ultimate there. So I think that's a mistake from Licorice right there. They were getting the Drake and a kill, kind of an indefensible turret, but another fight.
Yeah, River barely stays alive. Speaking of the same, both junglers low, stopwatch, ooh, gets the stun, but Valkyrie's able to come through. And here comes a re-engage. There's enough though. Licorice, Ghost available, but does not find his way back into the fight, so no kills. Mid-tier 2 was already gone. And out we go.
Yeah, another trade of spells in the mid lane. Game in a really interesting spot right now, Phreak. Instinct is a little bit more online as Sivir, so the team fighting is getting stronger and stronger, even though they had to recover from that early game dive and multiple ganks from River.
3,600 of TSM, just better and better and better. I mean, after the first Herald take, it was a 1K lead, so, you know, in the 10 minutes, 13 minutes since then, it's just been all TSM. They've you know, earned 4,500 more than Golden Guardians have, and and, you know, split Drakes from that point on as well. So looking very, very good on the TSM side. And now they get to do the Baron setup. The wards are already down. There's no vision for Golden Guardians. They have no idea what's going on. They have no idea if Baron's being attacked right now.
Yeah, this is the way that TSM wants to accelerate the game. They can't win through Dragon Soul. They could actually just be doing the Baron.
Oh, they called
Golden Guardians making a bet that they're not, and they win that bet.
They win that bet. No mid lane turret kill though. Solo again to the front line. Gnar available, throws the house, walks away. Ulti is up though. If he can find a flash, doesn't have it, but maybe a crunch engage. Licorice pushed back. Ghost still available. Ulti down. River could be a target. Has to burn his own flash, get away. Solo would have pinned him to the wall. That would have been a kill. Oh. Could be claimed, and they will find the first one. Chime will get this done. And they're going to get a little bit more as well. Here comes the rest of the dive. What's going to happen? Olleh holds the front for now, but he will drop. Senna ult is late. The TP now comes in to reinforce here as Gnar's back on the map. Another kill for TSM unanswered.
Okay, and it's time for them to reset the play. Now they've burned multiple spells and also killed Olleh. And if you look at the minimap, they still have full control of this area. Basically anywhere kind of inside this crest, Golden Guardians can't see. And if you look down here, they don't have any trinkets to check. So this is why TSM can go for Baron here. It's too dangerous for Golden Guardians to check.
An all-off Tempered Fate landing. That pick that gave them Baron. Tempered Fate from downtown. Chime lands it. And that's more and more for TSM. Looking for their fourth win now. They will tie with Golden Guardians if they secure the dub here in this one. And based on the way the last 6 minutes have gone, they are looking to secure this one for sure. Mid lane, they'll lose part of that wave as it crashes. But, I mean, Golden Guardians haven't found any fights they've wanted in a while.
Yeah, they absolutely, TSM absolutely has control in this game. It's a big responsibility for Olleh to be able to find the right engage. But even then, it's very difficult for them to get kills. I think part of this has actually just been how well Solo has managed the side lanes. You just compare him to the Gwen for most of this game, and Solo's always been the one who's able to move first. He's always been the one creating pressure on the map, and it's letting TSM be first to a lot of these plays, which they're then just moving faster, getting picks with Chime, and creating these positive plays. It's very important, though, in the next 2 minutes of this Baron power play, that they make something happen, because Dragon Soul is so far away for them. They wouldn't get it until about 40 minutes if they end up pulling it off. So they need to break it in hip and really accelerate this game with this Baron buff.
All right, another new TSM roster. Might be 1-1 in this look. An improvement over what they had earlier on in the prior split.
Yeah.
As well as earlier on even in this one. And looking to kind of close one out now. A nice little split push by Gwen, knocks down a single turret. Bounties not available, not down enough for that to matter. Golden Guardians are up a Drake technically. As we get the wave clear going yet again. Instinct chunked a little bit low, but the poke just not that strong from AD Corki, of course. A bit of damage coming across and another Tempered Fate. This could be an easy scoop if they want to get more. Flash is forced out. Gnar is going to find one. Down goes Senna, and they're going to go for more. Double kill already, and it's going to be everything to do. They've got package. AblazeOlive wants in. Catch the bait, goes for Solo, flashes back. Will not burn. 3 unanswered kills, and there's the scoop in for Maple. There's going to be the last one. Olleh will die. The Bud Light Ace and TSM have finally found a roster that works. They'll find their 4th win. They will end this week with a dub, knocking down Golden Guardians.
Moving into a tie with Golden Guardians at 4-9. And TSM did it this game. They generally were able to neutralize the early game dive. Solo created a lot of pressure, and then Maple could come online in the later game team fight. So that is definitely one of the more solid games TSM has played so far in the summer split. Solo coming in definitely looks good. 2 big performances from him. One yesterday against Bwipo, able to do work on Ornn. Today, doing great work on the Gnar against Licorice, pulling a ton of pressure that entire game. And TSM continues their trot towards playoffs.
Yep, right now, tied with Golden Guardians. Yeah, Chime and Stixxay spent time, of course, playing together. Chime and Olleh, of course, some coaching going on there as well. But TSM are now in 7th place. This is where they are. They are currently now in playoffs.
Yeah.
Half a game ahead of Immortals, game and a half ahead of Dignitas. And at this point, this is your competition, right? They are far away from top 6, sure. But a playoff spot is held onto. If you keep pace with Golden Guardians, you keep pace ahead of Immortals, you keep pace ahead of Dignitas, you're in the postseason, and if you keep improving, see how far you go.
Absolutely. 5 games left to continue to try and improve. It always feels good to go into the next week with a win.
Yeah.
Even if the first game was a loss, the second game being a win changes the entire energy And one player you talked about a lot, I didn't talk about that much, was Chime. His Bard is the thing that sealed almost all of their kills in the team fight. Any other support in that slot doesn't do the same thing.
No.
So such a spectacular game from Chime. And again, all smiles for TSM.
No one else has 1200 range, untenacityable, uncleansable engage, right? Like we saw Olleh. I'm gonna call him support because I mean he's basically that in this game. He was farming, sure, but like he would toss out those ults and he'd land next to was there, and it's like I hit a Merc Treads Legend tenacity Xin Zhao.
Yeah.
By the time I walked into melee range, he was walking away already with a Sivir ult on him, and it's like, oh, you can't do anything, cute. And here's Chime like, I got this one. And, you know, from half court, just like locks down one, locks down two, lands Q afterwards. Sometimes Xin Zhao's there to knock it back. Sometimes Maple's there to scoop him in. Like, I feel like 90% of the team fights was like, Chime landed something awesome. And then they're like, good, we're ready.
Yeah, Bard ult actually has these really weird timings where if you're throwing a max range Bard ult, it actually like travels through the air, right? So the closer you are, the slightly faster.
Yeah.
And the timing of it is like, if you see it, oftentimes you can dodge it. So it really takes someone super experienced with Bard. I don't think I saw him throw an ult that didn't hit at least one.
I can remember maybe two that were sidestepped, that like there wasn't like a follow-up afterwards.
Or they got like a flash.
Yeah, but I do know of at least one that was like full sidestepped, that was like speculative, but it was like 80%.
It was really high.
80% of Bard ults probably hit an enemy champion in this fight. It was really, really good. Chime was awesome. So we were joining Licorice and TSM's Chime for our Advisor Post-Game interview, because that was a great game.